Jets lose to the Cincinnati Bengals 27-12. It didn't even feel close. It did not feel close. I gotta be honest with you, the game felt over in the second quarter. After that John Franklin Myers penalty where he hit Burrow late, and Cincinnati then followed that penalty up. And by the way, that was on a third down, so it essentially gave Cincinnati an extra possession. They went right down the field and scored a TD. After that point, it just seemed like the Jets were lifeless. They had no answers. They couldn't figure out what to do. It was a complete slop fest, in my opinion, from the Jets' perspective. I mean, it was mistake after mistake, whether you want to talk about the John Franklin Myers late hit, the LaMarcus Joyner unnecessary roughness on T. Higgins. I mean, that play sequence was, 50 or 60 yards? And I tweeted it out. I'm like, this defensive series right here for the Jets is monumental to stop the bleeding, to flip the momentum, to create something. I wasn't necessarily asking for a turnover, but can somebody step up and make a play? Can we force Cincinnati to punt the ball back to the offense? And it wasn't the case. I believe it was actually the first play. Burrow hits T. Higgins, 40-yard gain, unnecessary roughness comes in, 50 or 60 yards in one play, down the field. Bengals are all of a sudden threatening the Jets in their territory. It's unbelievable. Jordan Whitehead had a dropped interception. Should have came down with it. I felt like the safety play for the most part was just brutal today. Brutal. What else? I felt like Moore should have held on to that touchdown pass early in the game. Granted, it was good defense by Awuzie, but still, I mean, the ball was in his grasp. I felt like he should have came down with that touchdown. There was miscommunication late in the game between Sauce Gardner and Quincy Williams, resulting in a wide open touchdown pass to Jamar Chase. How does that happen? I mean, you look at the radius around Chase, he's wide open. And what makes it even worse, last week, it was kind of a similar event, or a series of events, with Amari Cooper scoring almost in a similar position where he's wide open on the defense. And last week it was miscommunication between Sauce and I believe it was LaMarcus Joyner. So it's just these mistakes keep piling up. Another thing I didn't really agree with was the offensive philosophy going into the game. I felt like it should have been a big point of emphasis to make sure Joe Flacco feels comfortable early in the game. You look at the Bengals front, they have the talent to do it. Hendrickson coming off the left side. They have the talent. They've showed that they can get after the passer. We got to protect Flacco. He's not a mobile guy. So it begs the question, how do we do that? We rely on the run game and the short passing game. You can't sack Joe Flacco if he doesn't have the football. You establish long drives, long tedious drives. The Bengals just want to get off the field, but yet you're converting on third down. You're handing the ball off. You're getting 3, 4, 5 yards a carry. Slow, meticulous. The short passing, just screens, slants, quick, just getting the football, high completion percentage types of plays for Joe Flacco, but it just seemed like everything was based off of play action to where Joe Flacco had to take these long dropbacks, stepping up in the pocket, which isn't necessarily like a bad thing, but I just felt like there was a huge point of emphasis on Flacco trying to connect down the field. And here we are again, 3 weeks into the season, where Joe Flacco has racked up tons of pass attempts. How many did he have today? 52. Mike LaFleur said it himself earlier in the week. That number's got to get down. We cannot have the backup quarterback in Joe Flacco flinging the ball 50 plus times per game. I mean, look, if it's a 45-45, I get it. 48-48, it's in overtime. It's a shootout. Defenses are just getting gashed all over the place. But the Jets walked away with 12 points today. They didn't even score a touchdown. All field goals. Why is Joe Flacco throwing 50 plus times? It tells me that the Jets get nervous. They start to press. In the first Flacco INT, it was a horrible decision to throw. I didn't really like the call. There doesn't need to be that big sense of urgency. If the Jet at that point, I believe it was a 1 or 2 possession game, they were clearly still in it. There was so much time left in the game. I really wish we just stuck to the run a little bit more. We have 2 horses, Michael Carter, Breece Hall. Both guys are, in my opinion, exceptional with the football in their hands. They're difficult to bring down. They're both young. They have a lot of youth, a lot of energy here. It's not like we're in a position like we were a couple years ago with Frank Gore, and it's like, okay, maybe we have to watch snap counts. We can run the ball as much as we want between those two backs. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And, I get it. You're not going to, it's not like the Jets are going to be, handing the football off 40, 50 times a game when they're down in the game. I get it. Cincinnati, what are they known for? Scoring points, explosive plays, hitting kill shots down the field. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, I get it. Higgins, Boyd, I get it completely. But I just don't like the idea of, hey, we hand the ball off, it's a gain of 1, it's a gain of 2, it's a loss of 1, and then all of a sudden it's just like, whoa, this isn't working, we got to start throwing the football, let's force it to Garrett Wilson. I just don't, to me, it just screams panic. It screams, we got to score points, we got to score points quickly, we got to get back in this game, when it doesn't really need to be there. The game is, at that point in time, when Flacco threw that first interception, I believe there was 4 or 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Jets were down 17-6. We didn't need to start pressing. There were a couple questionable play calls, in my opinion. Late in the game, it was 2nd and 10, 55 seconds left in the third quarter. Flacco just shoots back. And by the way, the Jets are pressing at this point. They're within striking distance of getting some points. Again, in the third quarter, late in the third. So it's a big drive. The game was not over at this point, although it felt over. Mathematically speaking, it wasn't. But long story short, 2nd and 10, Flacco he snaps the ball and he just starts shooting backwards, just really quick. And then he almost throws off his back foot, or he does a quick release out of the end zone and it just hits the goalpost. I mean, what was even the point of that? It was just a wasted down. Look, if there was miscommunication, there's miscommunication. I get it. But, even earlier on in the third quarter, I believe there was 10 minutes left. 10 minutes and 20 seconds, the Jets were around midfield and they decided to go for it on 4th down. I believe it was a 4th and 5 yards, and we're trying to connect on a deep shot to Elijah Moore, who has not been separating at all today. Awuzie, the Bengals, they locked Moore up. They had their cover. It wasn't, Elijah just was not doing anything at all today. And on 4th down, they try to shoot it to him on a 50-50 jump ball. I just don't understand it. It's just there was so much, again, 9-10 minutes left in the third quarter. We're giving Cincinnati a short field there. Let's just punt. The defense, it looked like as the game went on, started to get a little bit better. There wasn't as many mistakes, especially in the back end. But I don't know. It felt like anything that the Jets did, it was playing into Cincinnati's hands. Even when they blitzed, it felt like Joe Burrow knew exactly where to go with the football, hit the guys in stride, and they were wide open. Missed tackles. It just felt like the Jets could not establish anything today. And it's frustrating, to see the backup quarterback, again, throw for over 50 times and to walk away with 12 points, can't even score a TD. Garrett Wilson got hurt. He ended up coming back in, which is a good sign. But, Quincy Williams, a guy who never takes plays off, a guy who's always at 110%. And sometimes that does work to his disadvantage with, maybe a late hit here, a late hit there, or, whatever the case is. He could be deemed by some as a dirty player, by other fan bases and whatnot, because of how aggressively he tackles and makes plays. But he goes down with an injury. Cart has to come out. Air cast on the leg. Just unreal. So the Jets fall to 1-2 on the season. Pittsburgh Steelers next week. No TJ Watt. The Steelers are winless without TJ Watt. Okay, 0-6. I think that's important. Also, Zach Wilson expected to be back. Assuming there's no sort of hiccups, there's no sort of speed bumps along the way or anything like that. The expectation is that the doctors will be clearing Zach Wilson for the Week 4 game. Will this offense look differently? The one thing that concerns me, though, with Zach coming back, I'm definitely expecting maybe some more life, also getting the quarterback outside the pocket, rolling out with bootlegs and whatnot, really getting him on the move, putting defenses in a position to where they have to move sideline to sideline. The only concern is that you're taking a guy in Wilson and you're putting a lot on his legs, and he's coming back from a lower body injury. You're going to be in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, like the Cincinnati Bengals, they're going to be hungry for a win. They've dropped 2 straight games here back at home. I could see the Pittsburgh Steelers really drawing up a lot of heat to get in Wilson's face. Also, the fact that, he has been sidelined. It's not like he's been out there every single day of practice since the injury, practicing with the starting group. There's been some time missed. So We'll see what happens next week. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Jets drop the third game of the season to the Bengals. Again, only putting up 12 points. Brutal, brutal stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, go Jets.